All right, let's jump right into this explainer and explore the incredibly fascinating and sadly fading oral traditions of Manipur's Rongmei community. The Rongmei are an indigenous Naga tribe located mostly in the northeastern Indian states of Manipur, Assam, and Nagaland. And for centuries, this vibrant community didn't actually have a written language. Instead, their entire history, their laws, their understanding of the universe, and their ethics were preserved completely in the minds and voices of their people. So today, we're going to unpack a comprehensive academic thesis that meticulously documents these rich oral traditions, and we'll see exactly why they still matter so much to us today.
So we have to ask ourselves, what happens to a society when its elders, the living books holding centuries of history, are silenced by modernization? Because the Rongmei historically lacked written records. Every single elder was essentially a walking, talking library. They passed down their knowledge through these intricate folk tales, really passionate folk songs, and vivid myths. But as the 20th century brought rapid industrialization, modern schooling, and new religions into the region, these traditional practices were kind of neglected or sometimes actively discouraged. The rich, dynamic stories that survived for generations suddenly hit a brick wall, risking total extinction. Before formal schooling was ever a thing, Rongmei youth learned literally everything about their identity in traditional dormitories called the morung. Boys would go to the kongchu and girls to the luchu. And you know, the morung wasn't just a place to crash for the night, it was the ultimate educational institution of the village. Without textbooks or whiteboards, the curriculum was all about storytelling and communal living. It was right there in those dormitories that the youth were shaped, learning how to survive, how to treat one another, and what it truly meant to be Rongmei.
It was here they learned their foundational myths, like the belief in Tingkao Ragwang, the supreme creator. The Rongmei actually have this beautiful creation myth. They believe that originally, God created the earth, but it was completely pitch black. According to the lore, God took the form of a cock and crowed loudly into the darkness, and as soon as that crow echoed, a massive ball of fire, the sun, emerged, bringing light and life to the whole world. Only then did Tingkao Ragwang create plants, animals, and humans. Through these foundational stories, the Rongmei instilled this deep, deep reverence for the natural world.
Now we can actually experience this storytelling style firsthand. Take the classic folktale of the fowl and the earthworm. Let me set the scene for you here. A hungry jungle fowl is scratching through the thick forest mud, meticulously searching for a meal. Suddenly, boom, it strikes gold, a massive earthworm. The fowl is so overjoyed and excited by this incredible find that it stands up tall, stretches its neck, and looks way up to the sky to crow with immense pride. But while it's busy celebrating its own greatness, the earthworm quietly slithers right back into the mud.
When you are about to receive your reward, do not look up with pride. Others may take it from you. This brilliantly illustrates the story's moral, acting as a campfire lesson on the dangers of arrogance. To the Rongmei, a folktale is never just a simple animal story to pass the time. It's a highly crafted, educational tool. The fowl and the earthworm teaches kids that complacency will cost you dearly. It's a warning that pride comes right before the fall. Or, right before you lose your dinner.
Let's move on to Section 4, the 4 pillars of ethics, which are the hidden frameworks of Rongmei folktales.
Pillar number 1 is cultural ethics, which ensures the Rongmei people respect and embrace their unique heritage in a constantly changing world. This is all about identity. Through these stories, the youth are taught to appreciate their origins, to respect the specific rituals of their ancestors, and to maintain cultural sensitivity. It teaches them that their unique customs, right down to the intricate designs of their traditional shawls and the rhythms of their dances, are sacred markers of exactly who they are.
Then we have the second pillar, moral ethics, which exists to guide the youth by showing that honesty pays off and deceit brings ruin. Rongmei tales are incredibly clear-cut when it comes to virtue and vice. You'll frequently see an underdog who faces immense adversity but stays honest and kind, eventually reaping huge rewards. On the flip side, characters who show greed, jealousy, or arrogance, kind of like our jungle fowl from earlier, always face severe, sometimes tragic consequences. It's their mechanism for enforcing social standards.
The third pillar is social ethics, and this one focuses entirely on community survival through shared generosity, team spirit, and cooperation. The Rongmei are known for an egalitarian society, where the community is basically just an extension of the family. The tales emphasize over and over that you simply cannot survive the harsh realities of the world alone. They celebrate characters who share their resources, help those in need, and put the community above their own selfish desires, which is honestly a stark contrast to the individualism we see so often today.
Now, to really grasp the fourth pillar, we need to talk about the Liang Twang, the legendary giant warriors of Rongmei history. And these weren't just your standard strongmen. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't just about physical scale at all. Yes, they were huge, but more importantly, they possessed unparalleled mental wisdom and profound spiritual depth. They're the ultimate mythological protagonists of Rongmei lore, setting the absolute benchmark for human potential and courage in the face of terror.
And that brings us to the fourth pillar, bravery ethics, which teaches that true courage isn't just physical strength, but the moral fortitude to protect the vulnerable. The tales of the Liang Twang teach that having power is completely useless if it isn't guided by empathy. Bravery in the Rongmei tradition means standing up for the truth, taking immense personal risks to keep your village safe, and making really difficult ethical decisions. True courage, for sure, is intrinsically linked to compassion.
Ultimately, these four pillars uphold what the thesis identifies as the golden rules of the Rongmei. This is their strict, everyday code of conduct for a harmonious life. When you distill hundreds of folktales down to their core messages, you get this robust set of rules: respect elders, be patient, avoid bad friends, don't cheat, and reject greed. In a society without a formal police force, these internalized rules, drilled in through engaging stories from childhood, were the glue that kept the entire community functioning peacefully.
These rules are often passed down through really vivid proverbs, like this one. The tender bamboo will bind the older bamboo. It beautifully means that the educated youth will eventually guide their uneducated parents. I absolutely love the imagery here. The Rongmei use the natural world around them to explain complex social dynamics. This proverb acknowledges the inevitable flow of time, recognizing that the young, tender generation will grow up to support, bind, and protect the older generation. It's just a profound lesson in mutual respect.
But, here's where things take a tough turn. We now face a massive contrast between traditional communal values and the isolating, fast-paced challenges of modern globalization. The shift has been staggering. Modern education prioritizes information that is often completely alien to indigenous practices. The younger generation is moving to cities, relying on technology, and absorbing a highly individualistic culture. The traditional oral wisdom that kept the community grounded is suddenly competing with the sheer volume and speed of modern, globalized information.
But get this, ancient Rongmei lore actually predicted this modern era. They warned of a time when your picture will walk and talk. You will be able to speak through the air. How wild is that? Long before smartphones, the internet, or video calls were even a concept, the elders told stories predicting a future where distance would be erased by voices traveling through the air and where moving pictures would capture life. It just shows the incredible analytical depth and foresight embedded in their narratives.
Because of this massive wave of modernization, the younger generation is losing touch with their heritage, putting these stories at a very real risk of extinction. Remember, these are oral traditions. If a story isn't spoken, and if it isn't actively listened to, it simply ceases to exist. As the elders pass away, their living books are being buried right along with them. Without immediate intervention, the entire cultural memory of the Rongmei people could vanish within a single generation.
So the research concludes that to save the Rongmei identity, we must urgently document these tales and weave them into modern educational curriculums. We can't just sit back and mourn the loss of the past. We have to take action. The thesis strongly recommends taking these newly documented folktales, moving them from spoken word to written text, and injecting them directly into modern classrooms. By teaching kids their own cultural ethics alongside modern subjects, the Rongmei can prove that ancient wisdom is still incredibly relevant for navigating today's complex world.
Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought about the fragility of oral history. It invites all of us to reflect on the stories that define our own lives. Think about it. If your culture's entire history lived only in the memory of your elders, what story would you tell first to keep it alive? What are the core values, the essential lessons, the foundational myths that make up who you are? The Rongmei oral tradition reminds us that stories aren't just entertainment. They are the very DNA of human civilization. So, what stories are you going to pass on?